Man, Invincible really is something special. There's just so much to unpack here when you think about all the last like 4 or 5 episodes after that 3-episode release date. There was a fucking lot. But before I get to any of that, if you guys want to see any of my other thoughts, go to my other videos right here. But back on topic, there's a lot of positives and a few negatives I do want to get into. But something that I just want to quickly talk about because it just stands out so much like a sore thumb is fucking Powerplex. There's a few things I definitely want to say about Powerplex. The two main things I definitely want to at least get out is, one, I've always liked the idea of actions having consequences. Like, for example, oh, there's a superhero fighting in a city and all this destruction is happening. Who the fuck is going to take care of it? Oh my god, I lost my apartment, my car, what the fuck is gonna happen now? I lost 10 million people in a span of 2 seconds because someone threw a meteor in the size of Texas. And just kind of the lasting effects that can have on people, and the grief is literally just the grief. I can understand the idea of the grief when it comes to Powerplex. Him not having an answer, him not getting that closure, him not having a person that was there all his life, and the people that are gone just in the blink of an eye because of an action. And just that downward spiral that grief can lead you to, making you do actions that you never really thought you can ever dream of doing or even wanted to do or be in this position. With the added bonuses, sometimes is grief resulting in actions that can never be undone and a future that you would not want to have. I want to add one more extra thing to it before I say what I'm about to say in a second here. I understand Powerplex as a character. I get that he himself wanted accountability, he wanted action to be taken, but he fell so far down the rabbit hole that it wasn't about him having accountability, it's about him being right. It's about him showing the world, hey, this guy, this man is bad. Fuck everything else, just focus on this man himself. Justice was gone, the only thing that was left is obsession, which easily leads me into the second thing I want to talk about Powerplex, which is, man, he's a fucking idiot. Like, I understand, like, he's grieving and he's spiraling because of it. His sense of view is completely warped. But he literally is seeing Mark struggle against his own father, trying to protect the people in the city, trying to stop his father from making him do an action of killing multiple people in a subway. And he's like, nah, I don't believe this. This is all Invincible's fault and nothing to do with kinda Omni-Man. He's just like stuck on the idea of Invincible.
Hear that because you don't live in reality. But I'm telling you, as a psychologist, I'm not going to be able to psychologize all of them on the corner. Some of them going to sleep. Fuck God!
And just the shit that really threw it out the windows when he just straight up kills his own son and fucking wife. Like, my god, like, you literally could have got them out of there or had Invincible just take them out of the location because you know that your powers are dangerous, and you literally saw for yourself that your powers like were out of control when you almost hit your wife the first time. And he's like, nah, I'm just gonna leave them there and fight Invincible right in front of a destroyed building with my wife and child in it. It'll be fine. Then I'm gonna cope and blame Invincible instead of blaming myself for my own actions, because that's the best course of action, obviously. Another thing I want to talk about Powerplex was, like, I don't know what the fuck was going on in like the studio when it came to Aaron Paul voicing Powerplex, but it was kind of funny. There's no offense to him, but it was kind of funny because it sounded like he was struggling to speak even on regular sentences.
There's no going back. I know this is difficult.
He was like, I don't know what to do. Invincible will pay for his actions.
You think you're above consequences, but you are wrong. You will pay for your crimes against humanity. I keep getting away with it.
It was funny, but at the same time, I just kept thinking about Aaron Paul. I was like, I didn't even think about Powerplex. I was like, every single time he kept talking, I just kept thinking about Aaron Paul more and more and more. I was like, huh, okay. And even though I do think the idea of Powerplex is a little bit wonky, I do really like and appreciate how it kind of humanizes Mark a lot more because of the guilt he feels. Even though it's not his fault at all, but he still feels the guilt. And it's really humanizing. He's like, man, I could have done something. I could have done something better. I could have done something even greater than what I did before. And that's what every single person kind of goes through. Every single person goes through the idea of, I could have did this better. I could have done this. I could have done that. But it's not what could have happened. It is what happened and what you did in the wake of what was happening. You tried. You made your best attempt in the moment. You're letting the idea of this fantasy of the coulda, shoulda, woulda instead of the reality of what is happening now and you moving forward. And being blinded by by the fact of you doing good every single day, or you doing something better than what you did yesterday, or even that action that happened a few years ago. Live in the here and now, and the you that obsesses over the past will destroy the you in the future. But after talking about this new topic about Powerplex, I do want to talk about Cecil. I want to come back and talk about Cecil. I do think Cecil is a very interesting man. Just talk about him earlier in the last video, and just a simple idea of having trust in somebody to be able to do a certain action, or trust this person to be in the field of being in a battle, and how that trust is basically broken. And the easiest solution could have easily just been, hey, this is the type of person I am, and this is the type of thing that we're doing in the terms of, yo, you have this dead body or this really useful person. I would like to use this, and I'm going to use this. You're not going to really stop me. I'm going to use this, and this is the type of things I have to do to keep the earth safe. But without that trust, we can't work together. Like I said before, Cecil is a necessary evil. You still need to have Cecil be around. You still need Cecil to be here because of the actions he's done in the security of earth that has to happen. And he still proved that. And he still proved that he was needed when he saved the Mark and Eve from almost dying to 2 other Marks from a different dimension. But when it comes to Cecil, it always feels like it leads to this question. The question being, how much is enough? Do I need this? Do I need that? Should we be doing this? Should we be doing that? And I'm obviously talking about the man, the myth, the legend himself, Conquest. And taking Conquest and putting him in like a 10th level security prison, that's not gonna work at all. He's going to escape. He's going to be alive, and he's going to find Mark again and probably put him through hell if he finds him. I feel like this is easily one of the most dumbest things Cecil has done in the entirety of the show, is keep Conquest alive. And one of the most dumbest actions in the show, just kill this man. You have to murder this man. And not only murder this man, you gotta take his body and then you can use it after that point. That is fine. But leaving him alive and just saying, you know what, we'll get all the information out of him, out of the bloodbath he caused across the entire earth and how much power you've seen he holds. No, he's not a man that should be left alive whatsoever. I might as well just sideline this to the conversation of fucking Conquest. He truly is Satan's greatest soldier. Oh my fucking god. This guy is just demonic on a whole new level. The amount of murders, the amount of cities that were destroyed, the amount of times he's broken Mark's bones, almost killed Eve. This guy was like almost close to just completely destroying the world and conquering it. And I do really love that we get a really cool fight, but we also get context on who Conquest is in a little small tiny speech he gives. It's a very small amount of information and a very small, like kind of like a paragraph, and but you understand and get who Conquest is as a person. Well, us getting crazy reveals like, hey, he's so fucking insane that even the Viltrums on Viltrum do not like this guy. They think he's actually insane and nobody wants to actually be around him. And just the idea of his name being Conquest, and he's taken over so many planets and has done it so many times, and just the way, the viewpoint of everyone that looks at him, just how can that affect your psyche so much? Being a homicidal maniac, being lonely, telling Mark that you want to show your emotions but you can't, so you can't even express yourself. You're a fucking ticking time bomb. And I'm kind of surprised he never turned on Viltrum and tried to fight his own Viltrumite brethren at that point, or his sisters. There's also like paints to life just how cruel Viltrum truly really is, and how, like, I wonder if you made Earth of the utopia for Viltrum, what would it look like? What would be happening on this planet? Every single tidbit of information we get about it, it seems like it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And some other tidbits I want to talk about before we get to another big topic is that I love the animation in the final episode, but I just wish that was in a lot more episodes, or at least all of them, and we just put a lot more budget into those episodes instead of the voice actors. But I guess that's a different topic for a different time. And also, I do want to say that I just feel like anyone that I see that quote-unquote dies, unless their head is clean off their body, I am not believing a motherfucker is dead. I've seen the most disgusting things happen in the show, and he's like, that guy's alive. How the fuck are you alive? How are you standing? How are you back? This don't make no goddamn sense. This is insane. At this point, this guy's alive. I just feel like they should probably space it out in the terms of them having someone that looks really, really close to being fucking dead or is dead. It's like, just space that out or make that person just like, I don't know, kind of escape, because it's like at this point, anyone I see that is quote unquote dead, I'm just not gonna believe it. A scenario that we get a slow process on, but I'm really interested where it's headed, is the Alan and Omni-Man. Like, where is that gonna actually go? Is like Omni-Man's gonna be just fighting in space with Alan, and are they just gonna keep taking care of some Viltrumites that come here and there? When is the Tales That Missed My Wife? When is that gonna come back? Or when is Omni-Man actually gonna go ahead, come back to Earth? And well, not really, I don't know if he can come back to Earth, that's a strong statement, but like at least be in the vicinity of Earth and see his wife and try to, I don't know, maybe woo back his wife or something like that. But the last major thing I wanted to talk about is Mark himself. Again, I always say, I feel like almost every video, the beat down this man gets physically, but I'm really talking about mentally, with all the shit that he goes through, is some other shit. I feel like the author for Invincible, when it came to Mark, he's like, yo, what if he ate shit? But like, what if he ate shit on top of this shit, on top of this shit, and then it was more shit? And it just doesn't stop for the struggling superhero. It really doesn't. But it does kind of scare me, but also interest me when it comes to Mark at the end of the season, when he adopts this ideology of anyone that wants to attack my family and go over the line, I must kill them. Seeing like how he's sort of growing into maybe even an anti-hero role right now, which probably won't last too long, but seeing like the fruits of his labor, like what is going to happen if you keep this train of thought, and for how long are you going to keep it for? But if I had to bet any money, I think he's obviously going to let it go, but Oliver's always going to keep that train of thought because of his Viltrum side. Oliver has shown that he can be a kid and he can do kid things and be around other children, but like when he overdoses and he goes for the idea of like anyone doing a violent crime or too violent to a degree, then he just like, fuck it, you're just gonna die. It is what it is. And one of the last things I do want to say is that I do like it when we do have a whole bunch of comic book medium and we get new shit, because obviously none of the shit is like the same from the comic book or one-to-one at all. It's either a completely new different interpretation, or we get added bonuses that were not in the book, and it kind of adds to someone's character, and I like that a lot, especially for Conquest this season, or us seeing Dark Blood at the end of the season as well. That seems like it's gonna be pretty cool. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
One more thing.
Sorry, I almost forgot. I'm not letting this motherfucker slide. There's one character that we have to talk about that I almost forgotten into the void. Fucking Rex. Or not even, well, not really Rex, but Rudy himself. The man that wants to call himself Rexplode or Rex. Why would you want to do that? You already took the man's DNA, and you took the man's DNA for the purpose of like, oh, you know that this girl likes you or the way that you look, so you're gonna take his DNA, and now you take his name, especially at his funeral, where everyone's kind of like grieving, is kind of insane. Like, what if you do unspeakable acts, and it's now basically done in his name? It's just from all of this, as well as him siding with Invincible because he knows he's the strongest hero on the planet. It's just from all of this, I've told you before to look out for him. Like, actually look out for him and what his next moves or what he's gonna do next. Because it's always something conniving or weird or something that's being done in a moral, weirdly taste. It makes me want to see what his character's gonna do from here on out. And then I also want to talk about the original or the actual Rex himself, Rexplode. Wow, rest in peace to this man. He was so fucking cool. He was like from a 0-18 comeback of like him being an asshole, him cheating on his girlfriend, him just like really showing you like how much of a piece of shit he really is, to being a super cool and good person, kind of learning from his mistakes, being an actual good leader, or fighting for what's right even if it's like in a wrong situation or wrong time, saying fuck it and let me actually do the right thing. And for everything he said and how he felt, it felt like he never really actually lived his life. He just lived as a superhero because he was supposed to do it. He never actually gave it thought or at any actually second guessing of, hey, I should do this with my life. Hey, I think I'll be happier if I was with this person, or hey, I would be happier if I had a normal life. And just how like a lot of characters are, or a lot of people, sometimes it happens too late for your realization, and it's always a sad scene to happen. Alright, that's all I actually for real gotta say. I see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.